Now, coming from the last video, when you sit with sadness, sometimes what follows is a deeper ache, which is loneliness. Sadness says, I've lost something, right? Whereas loneliness says, I am not connected to something. And this is where a lot of people get stuck. So you feel sadness about a loss, a disappointment, or unmet expectations. And that sadness spirals into the belief that you're alone in it, that no one gets it, that no one's really there for you, that no one really cares. But loneliness is not just about the absence of people. Some of you have felt the deepest loneliness in a room full of people, right? Even surrounded by friends or a partner. Why? Because loneliness isn't solved by quantity of connection, it's about the quality of connection. So, three things you need to know about loneliness are: first, loneliness is a sign that you've disconnected from yourself. When you abandon yourself by suppressing emotions, betraying your needs, or living in a mask, you will always feel lonely, no matter who's around you. Second, loneliness is not proof that you're unlovable, it's proof that your soul is just craving something deeper and a deeper resonance. Shallow conversations, surface level relationships, hookup culture, and performative friendships, they won't cut it anymore. These cheap dopamine hits won't do it anymore. Third thing is, loneliness can be very sacred, and it can be the very space where you finally hear yourself, where you reconnect to your essence, and where you stop distracting and actually start remembering who you are. So how do you alchemize that loneliness? Well, first you need to start with self-connection. Most people think, I feel lonely, I need someone else. But the deepest cure begins with you. Rebuild your relationship with yourself. Spend intentional time alone without numbing yourself. Journal, meditate, walk in nature. What do I need right now? What am I avoiding? What does loneliness keep me from seeing? What I see in most people is that they cannot be alone with themselves, nor with their thoughts. Not for more than 2 minutes at least. And while everybody is jokey about it, it's actually posing as a real problem and danger when you cannot even sit with yourself for more than 5 minutes. Do you really think that's normal and funny? So this is a task that you need to take very serious. And if you're even more serious about it, get into my Coming Home to Yourself membership, because this is where we create real intimacy with you and other people, everyone around you, but especially with yourself. This is where the real magic happens. So get your ass inside and become disciplined about it and take it freaking serious, because that's how dangerous it is. Then you need to shift your story. So loneliness becomes dangerous when it's labeled as a defect. There's something wrong with me. Instead, just tell yourself, this loneliness is just showing me what kind of connections are missing, but which I truly crave, right? So it's just guiding me towards more depth. It's just showing me where I still need to do more inner work, where I still need to do more, where I need to shift something, right? Whatever, but it's redirecting you. So shift your narrative about it. Rewire yourself and your story around it. Then you need to create genuine connection. Reach out to people, but with intention. Don't fill the void with anyone just to silence your ache, right? Just to numb your feelings. Seek relationships where your soul feels safe and seen and nourished. If you are in a relationship, genuine connection is not going out to cheat. That's just filling yourself with more void again and with fake pleasure. So it's not also not about numbers, it's about resonance, right? What does really resonate with you? Feed your soul. Where do you feel actually safe? Which brings me to my next point: practice vulnerability to feel safe. Loneliness often lingers when you've armored yourself, right? You've built a wall around yourself. Drop the mask. Share your truth of how you feel with someone that you trust. Or just journal about it if you don't want to tell anyone. Keep it to yourself, but get disgustingly honest with yourself. Vulnerability is the bridge between isolation and intimacy. Which brings me to my next point. You need to build intimacy with the divine. If you only ever try to solve loneliness horizontally, so with people, you'll keep chasing. You also need to solve it vertically, so with Source, with God, with the universe. Build your spiritual intimacy, whether you believe in it or not. You need to pray, meditate, ask, listen. When you feel connected to something greater, the human loneliness just softens, and it's like it's just disappearing. But just like sadness, loneliness can harden in itself if left unchecked. If you let loneliness define you, it can turn into bitterness again, and self isolation, resentment, or even cynicism about people and love. So you start projecting that everyone will leave you, that everyone will abandon you, that nobody really cares for you, that no one can meet your needs. And so you unconsciously create the very disconnection that you actually tell yourself you fear. That's why it's so important to honor loneliness but not worship it, right? Don't let it become your identity. Loneliness is a messenger, not a life sentence to you. Loneliness doesn't mean I am alone. It just means I am being called to something deeper. I'm being called into deeper connection with myself, with others, and with the divine, with God. And once you start answering that call and listening to it, loneliness becomes less of a curse and more of a compass to you to navigate.